Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Collegiate Star League's League of Legends Scrim Series featuring tonight Florida International University versus McGill University. So Florida, obviously, versus McGill University, which is in California. So if you guys are from either one of those states and want to cheer on your team, now you know who to cheer for. But yeah, welcome to the stream tonight. My name is Reed Rapid Melton, and joining me tonight, as always, is Joshua Fekez Quest. How you doing, Josh?
Pretty fantastic. Good to be here. Yeah, we had a little bit of a cancellation on our original game plan. Gonna go with a scrim. This is a scrim between Florida and Florida International University and McGill University. So, gonna get that started pretty soon. Yeah, so this kind of got thrown together at the last moment here. So research a little underwhelming, but we are in lobby. We're ready to go. We're gonna find out and learn as we go here. Game's going right now. Pick and ban phase underway. Let's see what we start out with first, Rapid. There's a lot on the board that they could go ahead and take out, but Braum is going to be the first one on the side of McGill.
Yep, Braum out of the way, and I'd see some more support bans. That's actually become kind of a thing. It happened twice over the weekend in NALCS. We had two ban phases that involved all support bans, so got to take care of those pesky supports. Every time I dual lane, I always wish that there was only one champion up against me. I think that'd be super fun for me to play against. But good to see the Malphite ban there too. Increasingly highly picked champion, although it hasn't caught on in North America quite yet. Still very, very strong when you're looking for hard engage.
Yeah, and that's the main reason why I bring him. And also, he has been getting a little bit more popular in the jungle as far as I've seen in solo queue. So he does have a little bit of a flex pick going on to if they want, but not gonna worry about that one. And yeah, that is a hard engage, completely taken off the board. And Lee Sin, second ban by McGill. That may be a targeted ban, or they just don't want to deal with the high mobility of Lee Sin, and that could tell what kind of comp McGill's going with. But Tank's being banned out pretty heavily over on the side of Florida International University. Dr. Mundo, the second ban out. They do not want any of these big front lines to get in their way this game.
Yeah, it's going to be about the front lines there, but also with the Lee Sin, I always ban Lee Sin in my games. Just I can't play against him. But for professional teams, the Lee Sin ban is primarily just because you don't want to allow, you don't want that early jungle pressure. Now, I mean, there's still early jungle pressure champions, one of them being Rek'Sai, so that's probably the reason you see that banned out as well.
And we'll see what the last ban is by Florida International. Those types of engages or disengaged if you're Braum. So see what they decide to first pick. Nidalee, another pick that's actually been kind of coming up. Runic Echo has been fairly popular in these AP jungles. Been seeing a little bit more Nidalee since it's shown up.
Right, and I think the biggest thing to watch out for Nidalee is the early game. If you get that champion snowballing, it's just ridiculous. But there are two champions that you should see picked or banned in every single game, and those are Poppy and I guess Tom Kench is really coming back too as a big top lane pick.
Oh yeah.
Even internationally, we've seen it in Europe, Japan, China, absolutely everywhere. So Poppy though, and Trundle, I guess Poppy and Trundle would be the other one. So both as supports or of course big flex picks too. You can run Trundle in the top lane as well as Poppy, who can also jungle too. So very diverse pick, and we're just one of the strongest champions in League of Legends. I saw several pros tweeting about, pick Poppy, win games, get elo on Twitter the other day, and I was like, okay, let me give this a try. Didn't work out, but let's not talk about that. These guys are way better than I am. I think most of the players here are Diamond 1 or higher, so very, very skilled players. On, of course, two very, very skilled teams. It's going to be interesting to see what they do go with, because that's a very early carry lineup picked out there by Florida International.
Yeah, and with Poppy not banned out, yeah, it's still an option and a logical one too, because Poppy's actually really good against mobile champions like Nidalee or like LeBlanc, depending on where you go. Even Graves, who has a quick draw dash, she does have an ability that keeps anyone within that circle. It doesn't stop blinks. I don't think it stops Ezreal's arcane shift, but it does stop pounces and dashes and I guess LeBlanc's distortion is kind of considered a dash. It's not really a blink of any sort. So it would end up stopping those, which Poppy, that's one of the big keys in my opinion, especially with how mobile champions are these days. One of the big factors that she brings into the Rift these days.
Right. Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me to notice whenever I play against an Ezreal, which looks to be the lock in here, um, is that you're probably looking to play against a blue build Ezreal. So that's an Ezreal that wants to not necessarily kill you or deal tons of damage to you. I mean, obviously it wants to kill you, but it's primarily for kiting. So you're going to be playing a kite composition or a poke comp, both equally viable and kind of the same thing. So that's why the Ezreal picked along with the Nidalee, and of course you've got Morgana there as a big either form of counter engage or just to get somebody sticky off you.
Yeah, and they do have a lot of poke already on the side of McGill with that Nidalee and the Ezreal. We'll see how they round that out. And even Morgana can kind of be a poke if you do land that the Dark Binding. You can still get quite a bit of damage off if you don't have somebody there to go outright kill them or flat out engage. Pink Tide's hovering over the Lux. That would just add more to that poke comp that McGill seems to be heavily favoring right now. But they're lacking a big engage. They're lacking a big front line. Tahm Kench would at least cover that front line. Engage is kind of questionable. I think he kind of waits for people to gauge onto him, but Tahm Kench would not be a bad pick here.
Right, yeah, Tahm Kench, especially when you're looking at a poke composition. I think Trundle's also really good. I think Trundle might also be better because in talking to pro players, they say Ice Pillar of Ice, is one of the best moves in the game. It's a knock-up, it's an AoE slow, it's a barrier, it's just like does all kinds of cool stuff. So whenever you're playing a poke comp, you have to have some way to stop your opponents from engaging on you. Used to be Zyra, used to be like an Ashe AD carry pick, but now it's changed up a little bit. So we're going to have Morgana, Black Shield, and a little bit of tankiness there from Maokai just to make it fighting on favorable terms. They jump into that field of damage reduction.
Yeah, we do have the whole lock-in for McGill, and like you said, damage reduction, but that also does provide the front line, so that is what McGill really needed. So, let's see. That is the thing here too. Florida International University hovering over the Fiora, Sephori. I would question that one right now. I mean, you do have a pretty huge advantage if you do get Fiora running and snowballing, but that's kind of how their whole comp is right now. They're on a massive damage. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to snowball this entire game. And it might actually work because McGill only has one big tank on their side. This is going to be interesting, Rapid. Oh, we lost it.
Yeah, as the last pick, Fiora lock-in there for Florida International University. And the big thing about Fiora is that no matter what tank comes her way, she can always knock it down. Percent max health, true damage. It's a pretty cool stat to have on your champion. So, very aggressive top lane. There for Florida International University. But of course, across the board for McGill, it's going to be rough for Fiora to get in on that lineup. Just because you've got so much poke damage, whether it's Nidalee poke with the new runic echoes like you were talking about, Fekez, but also the blue build Ezreal. You got bindings coming out, light and dark bindings. So a bunch of different colors coming out there.
No, actually the whole rainbow spectrum, considering you do have Lux, just throw that final spark out. So there it is there. No problem, but we do have our team comps. Pretty interesting. Like I said, a lot of poke coming out from McGill, a lot of snowball, get in your face, kill you, coming out from Florida International University. But we're counting down. Want to go give a shout out to our sponsors, I should say. That is plurals. Twitch. Thank you for being a sponsor for us, Twitch. We've been with them for quite a long time. We're very proud to be affiliated with the largest gaming streaming provider in the world. Asus ROG, probably one of the most important ones right now because they're the reason why we are going to DreamHack. Asus is they're representing us this year. They make some of the world's best gaming PCs, laptops, and monitors. And like I said, they're funding us this season to DreamHack in the beginning of May. So check that out. Go check them out on Twitter at Asus_Rogue, ROG, I should say.
You know what the ROG stands for, Fekez?
What's that?
The Republic of Gamers. So if you guys are gamers out there, go check out what Asus ROG has for you. And of course, last but not least, our final sponsor is Brain Gear. In case you want to get your brain in gear, definitely check them out. It's a scientifically developed formula that provides you focus and clarity so you can feel long-term brain health benefits whenever you're deciding to, hop into a game of League of Legends or whatever your esport of choice is. Check Brain Gear out and help support them because they help support us, and we're certainly very thankful for all of our sponsors and for viewers like you, without whom we could not make this stream possible. So thanks for sticking around. We'll be right back after a short commercial break with our first game in this best of 3 scrim series between McGill University and Florida International.
As the sun steps down and escapes the day, we'll calmly walk away from the fray. When structure falls and all else fails, we will build it once again. Turns to gray, we'll calmly walk away from the fray. When structure falls and all else fails, we will build it once again. We can climb high, higher than before, or we could stand by while it burns to the floor, though we cannot fly. We will build and the wounds will mend as we build once again.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Collegiate Scrim series. Of course, my name is Reed Rapid Melton. Joining me, of course, tonight, as always, is everyone in chat, and also my co-caster.
There you go.
Josh with Fekaz Quest. How you doing, Josh? What's up?
Pretty fantastic. We are in the rift here. Looks like lines of scrim is being drawn by both sides. Nothing too fancy coming out from McGill University. Nothing too fancy coming out from Florida International University. A ward thrown down in the bot try just to get some vision there. Make sure nobody's invading through that bot side of the jungle from the McGill's blue. But yeah, pretty standard starts here. Nothing too special. Sephora and Fiora parries you. Coincidentally, he's going against Fiora. He's going to be meeting Fiora and take a little bit of damage because that's what Fiora does. Luminescent Singularity is going to miss Sephora, and he's going to walk away, actually winning out that trade. But it's early. He can go back. Fiora parries will be back in lane. No problem. Easy peasy.
Yeah, highly unfortunate you didn't see Fiora picked by Fiora parries you. I didn't have a lot of opportunity to check out a lot of different players, but you don't really have to do too much research to be like,
Yeah, right.
I wonder what champion that guy plays.
Yeah, some people, they like to be proud. They like to show it. I don't know, a lot of Fiora players, since her rework, and before he was kind of a niche pick, now it's like a mainstay. Pink Tights, though, we'll talk about that in a second. Getting a nice trade on that one because Celestia, I should say, decided to distortion back to her original sigil and get hit by the Luminescent Singularity. So Pink Tide still gets the trade in that mid lane. Very nicely played, and a little bit of misplay from Celestia, but it's too early to really make a huge difference.
Very early LeBlanc picks, so kind of interested to see how Luck Switch is not traditionally a very common mid lane pick, but oh man, nice avoidance of that Lucent Singularity, getting right up in Pink Tide's face and putting out a little bit of extra damage.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you have to do in that mid lane. But nice damage trade on the bot lane. Socratic and Taiwan Jesus both proccing their Thunderlords, getting quite a bit of damage onto each other. Mattis there. He is the big factor for Socratic, though. He's able to heal up the Vayne with the ebb and flow, and that's going to be a big difference, as Pure Symphony cannot do that.
Ooh. All right, another nice distortion in there. Man, this is some of the most aggressive LeBlanc play I've seen, but it's really important to be able to play aggressively early on against Lux, because otherwise, if you let her play too safe, then she'll just burst you from a million range. There's not a whole lot LeBlanc can do about that.
Yeah, very nicely played by Celestia. I'm actually really happy we're going to see this mid lane a little bit more.
Wow, that chain landing through those minions
yeah,
was
that was awesome.
little bit skeptical there. Anytime somebody does that to me, I'm just like, oh, okay, all right. You get that one. Sephora using the new technique. You actually might have seen it on places like Reddit where you dash in and parry at the same time. It's very useful when you expect to run into CC, so you can just run into it, parry it, get the stun off, and do Fiora things.
Well, now we got a little bit of a skirmish here over the Rift Scuttler, who actually invading did end up picking that one up. EWG needs to get out of there. This is has pink tights around to keep him protected, as that's what pink tights does. If you guys ever try to wear some.
Yeah, I was just saying, every time I go out in public and I got my pink tights on, everybody's like, well, why are you wearing those? And I was like, well, it's to protect me from when I get my Rift Scuttler taken. Just like, what's a Rift Scuttler? I don't know. And then I'm like, well, let me tell you about esports. So
that's how fans are made.
Yeah, well, that's how you get people to not talk to you anymore.
Well, I guess that's true. Celestial again, dodging these luminescent singularities, doing a fantastic job against pink tights, and actually up in farm against the Lux as a LeBlanc. A little hard, difficult to do if you ask me, but doing it making it look easy with these very well-timed distortions. Saving them as both a defense and an offense. Very nicely played, but a little bit of skirmish in the bot lane. Nice arcane shift by Taiwan Jesus to avoid the stun into the wall from Socratic.
So I was up top lane waiting for this red buff Graves gang to pay off. It doesn't look like it's going to pay off thanks to great wave management by McGill's top laner. Fiora parries. He's kept the wave right at his turret, and that means that he's not very vulnerable to getting ganked, but he might just actually get dove if he continues to drop that low.
It would be a little risky diving a Maokai, though, considering he can root you into place. But yeah, it looks like invading is just going to go back, and everything's happy in the top lane for Fiora parries you. I think he's quite content staying underneath the turret, just farming as much as he possibly can. He's not too far down, and he is a tank. He just has very little items he really needs to focus here, especially against the massive team that Florida International University is bringing. Especially with three AD champions. Celestia not quite getting the kills that he wants yet, so hasn't ran out of control at this point, early point in the game yet.
Yeah, well, speaking of like AD champions, talk about AD carries. Now those are pretty popular in the current meta of League of Legends. I mean, there's a Graves jungling Fekis. Like, if you told me, back in my day that Graves was going to be a jungler, I would have been like, yeah, okay, you just go try that. To be fair, up until this patch, it might not have worked out. Pink tights, though. Whew.
Shield gonna help him out a little bit, mitigate some of that damage from Celestia. But still, Celestia doing so well in that mid lane, actually shoving Pink Tights back. Pink Tights is pretty low on mana, so not confident in that lane right now. Celestia is actually staying quite healthy on mana, so gonna get even more an advantage with the minions here, but EWG getting aggressive in his own jungle. And speaking of aggression, Sephora actually in a whole minion wave of Fiora parries you, but he doesn't care. Still gonna go in onto him, but gonna back off.
A lot of action bottom lane. Whoa.
A lot of action as well in the bot lane, as you said. Socratic shoving back Pure Symphony and Taiwan Jesus, getting very aggressive as the Vayne. Speaking of aggression.
Yeah, EWG's in a little bit of a rough spot. It's a 3v1, and I don't think invading is too scared because he's got backup coming in. There's the flash. No slow there, no red buff, but just continue to poke things out. Invading, living up to his name.
Yeah, very much so. And this is the... Hold on, we actually have a teleport coming out from Fiora parries you. Flash does not get the grasping roots, or not the grasping roots, the root, the twisted advance. The grasping roots is Zyra, I got it. Both tree, both plant-based life. But anyway. Yes,
that was a pretty terrible teleport. You teleport, you flash, and you get nothing out of it. You also leave your lane, and that's going to give Fiora plenty of time by herself to farm up. To be fair, incredibly impressive CSing from Fiora parries you. To be shoved in to your turret and go up against an aggressive matchup that you can't really fight against too well early on, to have even CS in that is actually really ridiculous.
Yeah, I think he's perfectly content being underneath the turret. It's going to get to a point where Sephora is going to actually have trouble, I believe, trying to kill Fiora parries you. So just going to hang out in the top lane. Has a big wave shoving up toward him. Doesn't have a teleport, so Sephora can shove this wave up and possibly teleport to another lane and get an advantage in some other aspect of this game. But all this battling underneath turret's not going to help out Sephora too much. Actually, Doesn't have too much to use to go when he goes back either. Only has 800 gold, so kind of in a limbo state. Can't really teleport anywhere. Can't really do much besides farm in the top lane. Because, like I said, I don't think he's going to kill the big Maokai right now.
Well, and the thing about Fiora is that her playstyle actually kind of ebbs and flows depending on like techniques and your ability to use them. So it used to be that Fiora versus Maokai started out being very, very good, but then Maokai kind of realized, hey, if I just play a little bit more defensively, then I can definitely outscale Fiora when it comes down to team fights. Well, then Fiora's kind of figured out, well, what if I run Grasp of the Undying and use that dash parry technique? It's ridiculously effective to see how well that works versus Maokai. So now we get to chance to see how well Invading's gank is going to work here. He does have red buff, and you'll know that's pretty common to see Graves gank as soon as he picks up red buff.
Here it goes. He doesn't have a flash. He uses it in the bot lane. There's quite a bit of damage going on to Fiora parries you. Who's going to get the kill, though? Is it going to be Sephora? Sephora actually flashed for it. First blood does go over to the top lane Fiora. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Taiwan Jesus not going to be able to get a kill because he gets exhausted. Nice bubble from Mattis going to disengage that bot lane skirmish.
Socratic ditched on his support.
Yeah,
if he had gone in there when that bubble landed, that's a kill, but also got in a little bit of action mid.
Yeah, Pink Tide's getting another trade not in his favor. He's 20 CS downs, and Celestia doing so well on this LeBlanc in the mid lane. Aggressing at the appropriate moments, dodging everything that Pink Tides is throwing at him with the distortion. Very nicely played. It's going to be really hard for McGill's mid lane to really shine through this into this mid game here. More aggression though. The Ignite is up, so Celestia playing it safe though. It knows that Pink Tides has the barrier, trying to force it out before he throws down the Ignite.
Yeah, and really good combo there by Celestia. He'll dash in, and even if he doesn't get the damage from distortion, he'll land the chain, and then Q again. And that way you get both procs from the Q, because the second one gets applied when the chain latches and does his second proc of damage. So just really, really high damage combos there by Celestia. But, of course, you can see Pink Tights has got that jungler support. Stash in, get that heal,
yeah,
walk away.
So yeah, heal would help it all. Quite a bit in this kind of matchup in the mid lane. Take anything you can get. But in top lane, speaking of taking anything you can get, if your parries you, might not be
oh,
the
no, invading!
So he's going to get quite a bit of damage put onto him, but there's no Ignite on Pink Tights invading. Is he going to survive here? No, the Thunderlords from EWG does pick it up. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, nice true shot barrage, picking up Mattis, but it's answered back. Socratic gets a kill. Support for support now. And now also, who fell? EWG. EWG did fall in the end. I didn't even see that. I believe Celestia picked that up.
Right, just a little bit too aggressive there, trying to clean things up at the end. So overall, actually not that bad a trade. Bottom lane, though, still going. Socratic, with, of course, more mana and health, probably going to be on the winning side of that one. Ezreal, without mana, is not very scary.
Yeah, he's underneath this turret. Socratic took another turret shot. It would be a little bit of a different story, but yeah, he's almost completely out of mana. He has to wait just to use a Mystic Shot at this point.
He does have Tear of the Goddess, so he'll be regenning that a little bit ahead of schedule, but still not in a super great place.
If you are parries you, he's going to shove up the top wave, take out the pink ward in the top lane, and he does... no, he does not, actually. He does not have teleport. Use it to get into lane, so... Still, Sephora has yet to see. We have yet to see Sephora take advantage of this teleport, but his lanes are doing pretty well. Mid lane, especially, doing well. Socratic gets hit with a dark binding in the bot lane.
Wow.
Very nice.
The fade away.
Yeah, very nice dark binding by Pure Symphony, but still nothing to follow it up. So there's really no threat in the bot lane. No reason to use the teleport in the top lane from Sephora. But Rift Herald is being contested by McGill, getting aggressive with this one, and actually does go over to McGill, invading. Gets caught out by Pink Tides with a light binding, not able to try to steal that one away.
Man, tell me how this Graves Q works, Fekez. So it's called End of the Line. You fire a powder...
Wait, you want the physics of it?
You fire a powder round that deals damage, but then, okay,
wow. Oh, collateral damage. Okay, so we're talking about damage. Collateral damage is shoved back invading.
Yeah.
Almost gets a kill on EWG. Do you want the physics of this?
Okay, so you shoot a shell that does damage, and then it bounces? In this skin, it's a water balloon? Like, okay.
Well, yeah, it's water balloon. You can't
like,
really...
what do you fill your water balloons with, man?
Cyanide.
Like sulfuric acid, and then it just pops, and it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one. It bounces and then deals collision damage. A little bit questionable there. Oh, Sephora.
It's getting pretty cheeky here. First dragon of the game does go over to Florida International University, but in the mid lane, Pink Tights, he does
Pink
not have
Tights.
barrier. No ignite from Celestia though, so not going to be able to secure that kill. Pink Tights is going to be able to walk away. Not going to go back just yet. Has his ultimate actually just used it to clear the wave? I suspect now he does want to go back. Big javelin toss onto invading. That's going to drive
Careful
him
there.
back.
Man, minions must be invisible there for Florida International University. They're landing bindings through minions, light bindings through minions, dark binding, all the bindings. So
Yeah,
spears, javelins, whatever you want to call them.
Nice dark bind, nice black shield rather on Taiwan Jesus, but the Soul Shackle's going to lock down Madness. Krennic flashes out of the actual binding. True Shot Barrage barely clips. Misses the kill though. There's a lot of action going on in all lanes here.
Yeah, hard to do the observing and check things out bottom lane. There's an exhaust on Secretic. Miss on the bubble, though. So
another
flash out.
Exhaust back.
Oh, turret shot!
He did not get the third silver proc. So Taiwan Jesus still survives.
Oh my gosh, so close. But
So
still, Florida International University coming on top in the bottom.
Speaking of being on top, Sephora has taken a pretty heavy lane, heavy control in that top lane, both in CS and kill advantage. So to keep an eye on that one. But Taiwan Jesus needs to be careful. He's so low on health, and he's almost baiting Secretic and Mattis into this turret. I feel like he has a plan, but plans can go awry. Speaking of plans go awry, that Ethereal Chain did not land like Celestia wanted it. Just the double distortion there with the R Mimic.
Another True Shot Barrage. That one a little bit less effective. But speaking of effectiveness, we really haven't seen too much action. So let's talk about the things that are working. Mid lane, Celestia playing that really, really well. Aggressive on top of the CS department. These bindings bottom lane are ridiculous for Pure Symphony. So that actually kind of bodes well as the game progresses. Because you know when you need them, you know, you're going to have that 2-second stun. 2.5 seconds, I think, in max rank. It's just
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Why?
And you
No,
also
it's
have a
actually
light binding to fall.
it's 3 seconds. So 2.75 at rank 4. So it's gonna get another 0.25. So yeah, 3 seconds. You just hit him with a buck, and yeah, there it is, right on time. Oh, just the
nice.
tip.
Nice final spark coming in from the I guess almost mid range mid lane, but he dies.
Oh
but
my
Celestial
goodness.
just deletes EWG. Teleport from both top laners in the bot lane. Sephora, he has the advantage, but not going to be able to get the kill. Nice dark binding. Pure Symphony coming up huge in this one.
Sephora just a little bit too little, too late there on the riposte, or on the parry. Couldn't keep that stun from landing. Light binding kept her at bay. That'll allow Fiora parries you to not get parried by Fiora.
Very correct on that one. Yeah, so both teleports finally coming into play in the bot lane, and actually decent teleports. But Sephora, I mean, got the first blood, hasn't gotten a kill since then, but has been kind of farming to his little heart's content. So has the Titanic Hydra already complete. Has quite a bit of power in his arsenal. Gonna go back up to top lane. Has a big wave shoving up toward him, toward his turret. So going to pick that one up.
I'm kind of interested to see that Titanic Hydra be the first item. I mean, if you're going up against the Maokai, it's not a big surprise what he's going to be building against you. And Black Cleaver is just a nuts item on Fiora. Like, I had no idea how good of an item it was until you watch in competitive play. And essentially, like, as a side laner, you'll push up. And then as soon as you push, you just chase him down. But man, mid lane, True Shot Barrage, all that poke, all those bindings, really coming into a big siege here for Florida, or for McGill, that Florida can't really deal with at this point.
Yeah, very, very nice light binding. That's exactly what McGill's playing for. Hold on, Fiora parries you. Doesn't have any magic resist, so Celestia hurts a lot. You just saw him get over half health chunk there, but this is exactly what McGill's playing for. Land one dark binding, land one light binding, and just follow it up with 2 or 3 other poke shots, and hopefully delete you off the map, shove you back, take a turret, just like they did in the mid lane. But Sephora doing a great job answering it back in the top lane, taking advantage of Fiora parries you not being in that lane. So turrets are evened up now, and the gold advantage is still over into Florida International University.
Yeah, I think the good decision making on both sides for mid lane. There's really not too many ways that Florida could have defended against that push. Oh, Secretic going in. He's gonna get one True Shot or one Silver Bolts proc, but Man, Manus is as good at dodging these Dark Bindings as Pure Symphony is at hitting them. So a miss there, and now still a lot of damage. Turning it back around. Pure Symphony gonna die there from one more Silver Bolts proc. There's Socratic picking up the kill. Oh, the Tidal Wave just clipping him.
Yeah, that's the kill. Very nicely played by Socratic. Actually, still got very nice play by Socratic and Mattis. And Invading, getting the kills in the bot lane. They're going to get this turret as well, so gonna give the turret advantage over to Florida International University. Dragon is gonna be up in 30 seconds, so they can just swing around and pick that one up as well. That'll be the second Dragon of the game going over to them. Meanwhile, in the top lane, pressure being forced by EWG and Fior parries you. Sephora, I don't know if they can 2v1 under a turret against a Maokai. May be able to, but it'll be up to EWG to land some of these javelin tosses.
Ooh, careful. He actually could have started to fight that and then got a two-man stun off of parry. Plus, he also does have this Titanic Hydra, so that's going to make clearing out that wave a lot more easy. Meanwhile, though, in the mid lane, the counter push successful there for Florida International. They will be able to push that wave up, take a tower of their own, and really equalize a lot of that. Whoa! Max range Dark Binding, Pure Symphony. So good on those this game.
Very nicely played by Pure Symphony, but the oof, almost another one tumbled out of the way by Socratic with the True Shot Barrage. Not too much damage. Follow it up onto that Dark Binding, so Socratic is going to stay there and actually lifesteal quite a bit back. He has a Blade of the Ruin King already, so he can lifesteal pretty quickly. He's already back to full health almost. EWG in the bot lane, so if one Dark Binding lands, that will be a Javelin landing as well. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Rift Herald again taken by Florida International University. Dragon is almost live now, actually, and it's not been contested just yet. Trying to focus around on the bot side of the map. As, Pink Tides was looking like he was going to go back down there, but decided to just go back to the mid lane and farm, shove up the wave a little bit more.
Ooh, okay, that Dark Binding was not destined for success, but still some great opportunities being created there. Death Cap now completed there for LeBlanc on top of Frost Queen's claim, and oh man, turning it back in a little bit late there on the parry, so a couple of turret shots being taken. Sephora in a little bit of a struggle, and there's the last hit.
Very nicely played by Fiora, parries you. Actually able to 1v1 Sephora, but with the turrets help just a little bit there, and damage reduction from a Maokai.
Oh, Invading though is gonna clean it up.
Gonna try here, but the flash from Fiora parries you. He's gonna try to dive this one. Collateral damage misses. That's a kill and missed. Fiora parries you. He gets out. Very nicely played.
So close, and yet so far not able to land that. That's where you take that one split second to hesitate, then go for the ult to pick up the kill. Because with the Graze ult, you actually do get a fair amount of damage, even if you do hit it at max range. I think it's only like 130 less damage if you still hit it at max range, and it's still incredibly effective. So a little bit of an unfortunate occurrence there, but Invading, surprisingly less effective than I would have expected, just because you traditionally see Jungle Graves play very aggressively and then capitalize on that. But
Socratic, he's getting aggressive and for good reason, able to take out Pure Symphony pretty easily. Pure Symphony even used a flash trying to Soul Shackle Socratic down, but Taiwan Jesus does make it out, but the kill does go over to Socratic. 3-7 right now in favor of Florida International University. They are 6,000 gold ahead right now. 2 turrets ahead, and they are focusing on this dragon, it looks like. Finally dancing around the second dragon of the game.
Well, Dragon being started here, and of course Graves super great at doing Dragon. Just because not only can he get pretty tanky by stacking up. Oh, careful there. Gonna get the Dragon stolen, but not gonna happen this time around. Second Dragon of the game. For Florida State, or Florida International University. It's in the state of Florida, but here we go. Chain lands onto EWC. Celestia.
Yeah, just gonna get out of there. Cheeky aggression there. Very nicely played by him, though. He's doing very good, just getting around, assassinating as much as possible, at least trying to pick up assassinations. He's, like I say, he's playing the map very well, playing around the kit of LeBlanc very well, using those distortions to get in and out as fast as possible. Seeing if he can get a kill, and if he can, he'll stay. If not, he just distortions back out. Very nice. Celestia, very impressed with the type of play being displayed on LeBlanc right now. But, as I say that, 4 grouped in the mid lane, making their way down to the bot lane possibly. It looks like actually they're going to split up Socratic and Mattis. Going back down to the bot lane, going to pressure Taiwan Jesus just a little bit more. And surprisingly enough, Taiwan Jesus, he's relatively staying up in farm, despite how much pressure is being applied in the bot lane.
Okay, there's an unfortunate miss there on that Dark Binding, but turning back around, snares Mattis, flashes
no,
back in. That's the bait. Is it good enough?
Double Ethereal Chain and the bubble gonna knock up Pure Symphony. Final Spark not gonna be able to kill Mattis. Very nicely placed exhaust onto EWG as he pounces in.
Oh,
and now final hour, Secretic, he's in the back lines, but he's exhausted and locked down. He cannot get the kill. Shutdown does go over to Taiwan Jesus. Very nicely played, and a big javelin onto Celestia, gonna not, drive him back. He's like, I cannot deal with that kind of damage right now.
That's like that fight where you're like, you know, come out and fight me like a man. You wind up just like having this like slap fight where you're just like, no, don't hurt me, and you're just like slapping each other. It's like both teams just like throwing these projectiles back and forth, like nobody really engaging, no like super big committal by either team, just like little tiny pokes back and forth. It turns out a poke team is a little bit better at poking than a team that's not quite on par with that. Oh, the dash in, the double bounce!
Huge amount of damage coming out from the Celestia. And
Mattis with the wave, he got the kill!
Invading was not able to finish off Pure Symphony though, but yeah, Mattis did pick up the second kill on the back lines, and that is going to be the inner bot lane turret taken. Although Final Spark is up from Pink Tights, might want to use that to clear the wave. Sephora in the top lane, still pressuring. Fiora parries you, making sure that he does not teleport out of that lane. Try to help out his team. Sephora knows that his team can hold their own on a 4v4. So just gonna keep the big tree occupied in the top lane. Actually, surprisingly, he hasn't got that much damage onto the turret until now either. He's barely touched that turret. He's just been poking down Fiora parries you. That's
kind of the struggle of melee top laners, is that if you're going to be split pushing and you push your opponent under turret, you kind of have to just leave, because as soon as you walk up to hit the turret, they're just gonna, you know, destroy you. So unless you're far enough ahead to go for the dive and, you know, get the kill under turret, then you kind of have to make yourself useful elsewhere. So oftentimes you can roam a lot. That's why I've been playing top lane Bard Fekez, because you shove the lane, and then you just roam for chimes. And while the other enemy, your enemy laner is just like sitting in lane, like, killing minions, you're getting chimes, you're like 100, 200 chimes, and then you just walk up and you kill the guys. So
if that hasn't put you in challenge, I don't know what will wrap it.
I don't know what will either.
I can tell, because that's not going to do it.
Well, I'll let you know. We'll give progress reports. So tune in next time to the CSL to find out how that top lane bar is going. But also to find out how this push is going to happen here. Oh, Celestia.
Be careful. And this is where McGill really wants to try to shine. They're going to poke and poke and poke until they just land enough abilities to knock somebody back. But Celestia doing a great job in the backlines, knowing that nobody can really stop him if he distorts in fast enough, get some damage out. He's kind of doing his own little poke game, just in almost like point-blank range. Very interesting to play here. And it looks like Florida International University is actually subbing back McGill right now, because they do not want to get engaged onto.
Yeah, really, really good decision-making there by Celestia. Oh, nice parry! Right. Sephora, that was impressive. If he had gotten caught out there, his team would have lost at least a turret, maybe even two.
This is really awesome seeing these kind of comps come together, because there's no individual play right now. It's all about who can do their comp better. This is what I really like about League of Legends and games like this. Celestia on the back lines. Where did that go? Oh my god! Okay,
oh, wait, what?
Parry's actually
no way
to the distortion image. Nobody able to take advantage, because I don't think anybody expected that to happen. Very nicely played by Celestia. Invading, though, he's caught out. Light Binding does hit. What else can follow up with it? I don't think anybody's really in enough power to do so. This Final Spark does miss its mark. There's Soul Shackles onto Sephora. Big shield coming out from Lux. Is it going to be enough, though? I don't think it is, because this is the engage that they were afraid of. And now, Florida International University, they are destroying McGill. This is exactly what you need to do. Break through that poke and just engage full on, and they got 4 for nothing right now. Celestia trying to find a clean ace right now onto Pink Tights. Throws out the Spooky Ghost, locks him down, gets the ace with the Ethereal Chain. Very nicely played by Florida International.
Yeah, Florida International, man, these guys are no joke. You can tell a little bit of a discrepancy between both teams. McGill is a Division 2 team, Florida International is a Division 1. But still, as far as, you know, ELO goes, or divisions go, both teams are up in, like, you know, Diamond 1, Diamond 2, so in case that's what you thought the Ds were to indicate divisions, they also kind of stand for the average division of the players in League of Legends. So very skilled players, but man, impressive play by Celestia, able to go for those like semi flanks where you'll like bounce ahead and try to just maraud the poking team. This is just exactly what you need. And then of course on the other side, you've still got great poke from everybody that you need to have it from. Ezreal has a lot of that. You've got on-point bindings from Pure Symphony, but just nobody quite there to that actually going to kill you level. I mean, poke team pretty good at taking objectives, but I feel like they've fallen just a little bit too far behind at this point in the game, behind over 10,000 gold at the 28.5 minute mark.
Yeah, it is pretty hard coming back as... Hold on, Celestial is going to
Oh, and the chain!
EWG. Yeah, got the ethereal chain on the last proc there to get the kill. Very nicely played by Celestia. And Pink Tides, nice
the
light binding. Gonna shut down Celestia. Very nice light binding. That was very impressive, predicting where the distortion was going to be at.
Yeah, that was a little bit ridiculous. Incredibly well played, but I mean, getting Dragon off the back of that even still, chunking out the tank. This push is going to be so good for FIU.
Doesn't even need to get the third proc of the Silver Bolts for Socratic to really do a huge amount of damage. Got a couple of crits in there. Did quite a bit of damage, and they're actually going to shove them off this turret and take another inner turret from McGill. So only an inner turret left is the top lane one. Sephora has actually been split pushing the bot lane this entire time. He's onto the inhibitor turret now. Going to be shoved back from EWG, but with these empowered minions, actually he's done quite a bit of damage, and now the rest of his team is going to join them in the bot lane. It's only a matter of time before this inhibitor turret is busted open, but Pink Tights rather, finds another light binding, almost able to take out Invadings, but not quite powerful enough yet. Even with the Rabadon's death cap, still with the final spark in the end, not going to be able to take out Invadings. Going to drive it back though, but the inhibitor turret in the bot lane has fallen. Fiora parries you. Now McGill want to try to get onto the chase, but nice disengage tidal wave from Mattis, and that'll be all she wrote for that sort of counter engage.
Gotta keep an eye top lane too. Invading actually gonna pop the Youmuu's Ghost Blade just to make sure he can take that turret down, and don't want to overextend here as the poke team. Nice parry again on that light binding. Just absolutely incredible skills there from that top lane Fiora.
Oh, bubble onto Pure Symphony, nothing to follow it up though. Very nice Aqua Prison landed by Mattis.
Oh, the bottom lane, this push is pretty good. Lots of damage on this inhibitor.
Exposed inhibitor, yeah, it's no reason not to focus that one. And you have a split push in the top lane from Invading, which nobody is answering, so they're going to get something out of this, and it looks like they may even get both. They got the bot lane inhibitor. It looks like Pink Tights did go to the top. Easy to clear a wave for a Lux, so not going to be able to pick up that kill. Got a flash out of Taiwan Jesus just by Celestia, getting into the face underneath the Nexus turrets. So that just shows how scared McGill is playing right now against the pretty fed LeBlanc, 6-1 and 3 at this point in the game.
Wow, this is actually pretty impressive to watch how methodically Florida International University are pushing in. They're running this 1-3-1 or 1-1-3, whatever they decide to do, composition very, very well.
All over the place.
Absolutely, they see a weakness in one lane, they'll shift their pressure there, and overall, poke teams are pretty bad at defending pushes, because, sure, maybe they poke you out and you can't push anymore, but then you just retreat into the jungle and take everything, and take Baron and Dragon and everything that you want out of there. So, pretty difficult spot for McGill to be in. Down 5-15 at 31 minutes, and yeah, when a top lane Fiora is this far ahead, there's really not a whole lot of recourse for a tank against them, or against her rather. Not a lot you can do without things like, a big thorn mail or maybe a damage item like that Rod of Ages.
Yeah, Fiora parries you, does have a frozen heart, slows down a little bit, but I mean there's so much damage being brought out onto the big tank because he's the only frontline they have. And you have Socratic, you have Celestia, you have Sephora. Actually, Celestia is going more for the back lines, but you still have quite a bit of damage just against him. Like, even with a frozen heart, still able just to dash in, dash out, get a little bit of damage onto the big tree, and still do a lot of work there. Collateral damage used just to get some damage thrown down onto Taiwan Jesus. Now he's in the top lane, but just advancing outside of the turret range. Sephora could duel this one, maybe even 1v2. Celestia is doing too much work for the camera, so we're going to ignore that for a second. But nice disengage coming out from Fiora Parries You and Taiwan Jesus, getting away from Cyphorai. But in the mid lane and inhibitor turret did go down. Secretic not able to finish off Pink Tights due to a very nicely placed light bind.
Oh no!
The red buff is going to be able to take out Taiwan Jesus just barely. And now it looks like Florida International University, 5 men strong in this base, just waiting to take down these Nexus turrets. One of them goes down. There's one inhibitor left. Sephorai is taking down the top lane inhibitor. Nice Aqua Prison onto Morgana, but big ultimate coming out. Final Spark coming out from Pink Tights, trying to do a last-ditch effort and drive everyone back, but they're not powerful enough to take them down. Pink Tights is in his own well and still not able to do enough damage and actually almost die. But next turret finally gonna go down. Minions aplenty there, able to take everyone, or take the health bar down just enough. Florida International University, very strong performance, but McGill, they did play to their comp, but it just got outscaled a little bit too much, it looked like.
And there you go, victory. Congratulations to Florida International University for their very impressive 18-5 victory, but that's only game number 1. So we've got at least 1, maybe even 2 games coming up next. So make sure to sit tight, go get a drink maybe, but come back in just a little bit. We'll have game number 2 coming your way. Once again, this is the C Star League, Collegiate Star League. So for all of your collegiate action, make sure to head on over to cstarleague.com. You can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/cstarleague. Of course, Collegiate Star League on Facebook as well. I am Rapid. With me is Fekez. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. So head on over to Twitter or just in chat. Let us know what you have to, what your thoughts are on game number 1, and stick around. We'll be right back. Game number 2 is coming up.
The truth. It's running in our blood. The answers are lying here within. The truth.
right, everyone, welcome back to game number 2 between McGill University and Florida International University. My name is Joshua Fequez here with Reed Rapid Melton. Pretty dominant win for Florida International University in game number 1, but we do want to, I want to reiterate, this is a scrim. This isn't actually for any kind of bracket point, so this is all a learning experience, trying to test out new things, and really interesting comps coming out from the in the first game. A big poke comp coming out from McGill. Versus a pretty heavy damage snowbally comp coming out from Florida International University, and it just kind of came a little bit too much for McGill to handle.
It just kind of did, Fequez. So welcome back, everybody. Game number 2, McGill versus FIU. And, of course, do want to go ahead and update to make sure that everybody knows FIU were pretty good in game number 1. They did wind up taking that down. So one game ahead, and this is a best-of-3 series, so that means that all McGill has to do is win 2 more. You know, no big deal. So we'll have to see how the bans change between games number 1 and 2. Currently, absolutely no change. So there's that Tom Kench man we were talking about, one of the strongest champions in the game right now. So it's good to see that kind of taken out of there. I think everybody can be rest a little bit easier knowing they don't have to fight through 2 health bars instead of just 1.
Yeah, Tom Kitch was not banned out last game, and neither was LeBlanc. LeBlanc is a direct ban against Celestia based on how he played that one last time, or how Celestia played that one last time. So McGill changing it up a little bit, going to, and as I do want to point out, McGill is on the red side and Florida International University on the blue side. We'll get that fixed in just a moment, but yeah, direct ban coming out from McGill University against Celestia. They do not want that upfront burst, that kind of assassination that they felt like was really messing with their poke comp last game, as Celestia was able to flank around from the side and kind of interrupt the flow that they were throwing out with all these light bindings, dark bindings, and javelin tosses. So we'll see how they adapt to that one. But Italy is the first lock-in so far, so they're already going for the same, or actually, no, they're taken away from McGill University.
Right, still an aggressive jungle pick, and you saw that exact same idea from invading. Last time he played jungle Graves, this time most likely setting up for a jungle Nidalee. You don't really see Nidalee in any other lane anymore. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but still have some bad memories. Then, of course, on the other side, we did see a Rek'Sai banned out by McGill University in game number 1. They also banned Lee Sin and Braum, so this time around they get to pick the Rek'Sai. Chose to ban LeBlanc away from Socratic, and definitely agree with that choice, as LeBlanc was transcendent. It was 5-0 at like 30 minutes, and it was more than just the kills that he got. He was able to flank the team. He was able to put on a lot of pressure that made him disproportionately effective. So some good bans there for both sides. Interesting pick here, though, for FIU. Florida going to go with an Alistar lock-in. You don't usually see Alistar with Corki, just because usually you want a poke comp support. So something like we saw Braum as a big opportunity. Things like Morgana, and I guess you can counter engage with Alistar, but usually use that to set up engages instead.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that one. I mean, they did lack. I guess they only had one frontline champion in Maokai last game. Oh wait, no, that's on the other side. I'm getting my teams confused again. So, yeah, it is interesting because they didn't actually have a frontline last game. They just had an outright get in your face and kill comp from Florida International University. So yeah, this time they will have a frontline. Let me get my teams right this time. They will have a front line on the side of Florida International University in that Alistar. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he plays that lane in the bot lane. But last game, Thresh was actually banned out, and that is going to be picked up by McGill.
Yeah, so good on McGill, but you can kind of see what Florida International are doing here. They're saying, okay, you guys picked the poke comp last time. This time around, it's our turn. And while they won't be running a Maokai to tank it up in the top lane, they will be still running that Fiora, which worked out incredibly well for Sephora. I really not too scared there. But I would actually be a little bit more apprehensive, because if you look at McGill, they've saved the best for last. Their last pick, the pick that they get to use to counter out the entire enemy team, still up. And that's going to be saved for the top lane picks, so maybe trying to give Fiora Perez a chance here in Champion Select to parry Fiora.
Yeah, no reason not to go on that Fiora if it's available, because, I mean, Sephora did incredible with it. But let's look at the mid lane real quick. Celestia taking away the Lux from Pink Tights, and Pink Tights falling on to the Victor. We've seen some pretty strong Victor, if you've been watching the NALCS, some pretty strong Victor from GMB. Or is it's GMB, yeah? It's not
GBM.
GBM, sorry. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Gank, yeah. Saw some pretty big Victor plays from him. 2 Baron Seals with the Death Ray. We'll see if Pink Tights can pull out that same sort of behavior, same sort of play. But we do have a Renekton locked in for the top lane. And how do you feel Renekton versus Fiora is?
Well, regardless of the champions, this is Fiora Perry's most played champion.
Right.
He has the highest win rate percentage with Renekton in solo queues, so it's definitely a power pick. I was going to talk about that in case he tried to play something defensive like he did in game number 1 on the Maokai, but definitely a very big believer in his Renekton skills. The only problem is that you can telegraph things a little bit, like, crocodiles, alligators, they're not too smart. Like, they're really strong, they'll kill you and everything, but it can be kind of easy to like dash in, get that stun off, and then all of a sudden your stun is riposted, and you're taking a lot of true damage from Fiora proccing vitals all over you, and you're like, oh no, what's happening? And you start to rethink your little crocodile life there for a second.
So they're not too smart. If I do that in real life, I'm sure that won't work.
Yeah, if you try to parry a crocodile in real life, let me know how that works out for you, Fekez.
We have some down here in the Mississippi.
Thankfully, I live a crocodile-less existence in Texas right now, so I'm pretty happy with the way that's working out. Not gonna go try that out, but what I am going to try out is letting everyone else know what we are trying out, and that is, of course, our sponsors. Been trying them out for a long time. It turns out they're pretty cool. Of course, you're watching us here on Twitch. That's where you've been watching the CSL ever since we got started on twitch.tv. I do want to thank them for providing us with an incredible streaming platform, the largest video game streaming platform in the world right now. So big thanks to them for providing us with an awesome place to stream. And of course, the Asus Republic of Gamers is the presenting sponsor of the CSL this year. It makes it possible for us to hold the CSL Grand Finals at DreamHack. Of course, if you want to tell them how awesome you think that is, make sure to head on over to Asus_ROG and let them know how cool you think it is that we're going to have CSL Finals at DreamHack. I think that's pretty cool. You think that's pretty cool, Fekez?
I think that's fantastic. I love it. I'm excited.
No, you're supposed to say, I want some more of it. Man.
I do want some more of it.
All right, me too. You know what else I want some more of, Fekez?
Brain gear, and let me tell you why. Because this is a scientifically developed formula that provides the focus and clarity you can feel long-term in the brain for your health benefits that you can feel good about. It's actually made of a lot of vitamin B12 and green tea extract, and that's where it gets a lot of its energy supplements. So go check them out at drinkbraingear.com. But yeah, we're going to get into a quick commercial break, and before we get onto the rift, my name is Joshua Fekez Quest here with Reed Rapid Melton. Stick around. This is game number 2 between McGill University and Florida International University in a CSL scrim. Stick around.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Collegiate Star League's Collegiate Scrim Series. My name is Reed Rapid Melton, and of course joining me once again is Joshua Becca's Quest and a bunch of other cool people, so thanks for tuning in. Tonight, we've got McGill University facing off against Florida International. Of course, Florida taking game number 1 will, of course, put them ahead, because that's what winning a game does.
Well, you can't really argue.
I feel pretty strongly about that one.
Very good analysis on the win stats there and the outcome and the consequences of winning.
I practiced. I was like, oh man, I really hope I don't mess this up. Does one make you ahead? Turns out it does.
Totally does, and we have proof right here because Florida International University coming in with the momentum, and just like game number 1, line of scrimmage being drawn by both teams, nothing too aggressive coming out, or aggressive at all really, and just gonna go as normal here. No lane swaps, no invades, and pretty standard jungle starts as well. Though I say standard jungle starts, it is actually interesting to see invading. Well, I may look at your opinion on this one. Normally you start on the bot side, you work your way to the top, meet your jungler there, gank at the same time. What is invading going for the blue first? What is that
I'm actually surprised we don't see 2v1 lanes in this situation. Corki is specifically super good in 2v1s. You get a lot of harass potential. And Fiora is super bad in 2v1s because you have to actually walk into melee range to kill creeps, which is fairly difficult 1v2. So you're not going to see that this game. It's also pretty good to 2v1 Renekton's too. But I'm actually pretty excited because that means we get to see the 1v1 up top lane. And man, there's going to be so much action up there. This is not the tank on tank excitement fest. It is going to be a lot of aggression, so keep an eye up top. We'll see how that one works out.
Yeah, both of them can get quite a bit of advantage just off of one kill, so it's going to be exciting, especially, like you said, Fiora parries you. Has played quite a bit of Fiora, probably knows her strengths and weaknesses. Maybe thinking Renekton is one of them, and that level 1 aggression already showing through pretty hard if he hits that level 2.
Yeah,
first blood.
The way Fiora wins this matchup is riposting the stun from Renekton. So when he goes in with Ruthless Predator, tries to get that stun off, you parry that, and you riposte it, and all of a sudden you're winning the matchup. Also, you can get ahead by attacking creeps until you've stacked up your Grasp of the Undying, getting some heals off of that, and of course you can also heal off of proccing vitals. So those are the way that Fiora wins. Renekton, all you have to do is land one stun and you're golden. So that's maybe a little bit more simple. Bottom lane though.
And speaking of landing a stun, very nice knockup, headbutt knockup from Mattis, but a death sentence actually missing from Pure Symphony, and that's going to give quite a big trade for Socratic and Mattis's favor.
Sorry for flipping around here all over the map. There is a lot going on there. Sephora has been forced to use the majority of his consumables, so he's used up all of those charges of the potion, of the corrupting potion early. Does mean that he's still at full HP, but Fiora parries you is still in a much better spot as far as his champion goes. As far as the lane goes, he's actually kind of vulnerable, so might be getting ganked here, but unfortunately, like you said, with invading starting on the top half of the map, he's not going to be top side for a very long time.
EWG will though, but his lane is pushed, so he's not going to be getting too much out of that top side jungle. I don't think he's going to get too much of a gank though. The wave is pushing back up toward Fiora parries you, but I don't think he really cares. I think Fiora parries you just going to do exactly what was done to him last game, just push up Sephora as much as possible. Maybe try to aggress onto Sephora underneath the turret once he hits level 6. We'll see how that one goes in just a few moments, because they're only at level 4 right now. And it looks like EWG actually went back into his base and picked up Tracker's Blade, so going to have those extra wards. Throw down. Destin's landing onto Mattis. Not your ideal target. It's kind of hard for an early game Tristana to really capitalize, but he's going to counter with a big headbutt pulverize, followed by a big Foster's bomb, hitting both members, Taiwan Jesus and Pearson.
Oh, there we go. That's that stun.
Nice.
That's how you win that game. Up top lane, good play there by Sephora. Bottom though, still a lot of damage going down there. You've got invading, coming around from behind, looking for some javelin.
EWG is there though. Maybe to be careful. Yeah, invading just gonna jump over the wall, lands a nice spear or javelin, I should say, and gets out. Seeing that EWG was in the area as well, or is in the area.
Sephora is playing with knives. He's running with scissors, whatever you want to call that.
Yeah, he needs to be careful. Fiora parries you. He's not level 6 yet. There's no big dive potential, but man,
Oh no!
There's a dive potential. He's going to flash, stun, and get the kill. Slicing, dicing his way to first blood. Very nicely played by Fiora parries you. A little miscalculation from Sephora.
Yeah, as soon as he riposted there, he kind of knew he had screwed something up. As soon as you don't have that mechanic, you just die versus Renekton. So it's a good matchup if you can land those. If you can't, then you're gonna have a bad time. And as we see from the items being bought, it's gonna be most likely a pickaxe here for Renekton to go up against just a Ruby Crystal and Longsword coming out of Fiora. And no, actually, it's a full Tiamat. Okay, that's that first blood gold.
Yeah, very nice pickup going back into lane. It's going to give him so much more pressure in those trades against Sephora, and he's level 6 earlier too, so he can take advantage of that one as much as possible. Headbutt Pulverize again on a Taiwan Jesus. A lot of damage going on to him. Exhaust being used by Pure Symphony, and nice Destin is bringing him back in. Can they capitalize on this one though? Heal being used, Flash being used, Exhaust being thrown down again, this time on Taiwan Jesus. Mattis, he's in the back lines.
Oh no!
Your Symphony, he's gonna get taken down by the minions. Flashes into Socratic, but does not get the kill. Socratic picking up that one, so a little premature flash there. Bad situation. Nice headbutt coming out from Mattis, though.
Man, the reflexes that this top lane takes are actually ridiculous because you have to riposte the stun from Renekton. I'm going to say that a million times because it's as a top laner. If you want to talk about that matchup, it's just so dependent on that one singular mechanic. So I'm excited. It's going to be super tense watching that because you're just see Fiora try to poke in, try to like outplay that mechanic. But I mean, Renekton, you're kind of fighting against inevitability because sooner or later he is going to walk on top of you, and you're going to have something to say about it.
Inevitability, I like that. He is one of the biggest lane bullies in the top lane. EWG making his way to the top lane as if he needs it. That's the thing. Doesn't really need it, but if you can keep us Fiora down even more, that's just the merrier for your team. So, not seeing it a gank there, but he's still pinging, can actually tunnel over the wall. He still walked over a ward. Very nice ward being placed in the top area around the.
We haven't really talked about mid lane matchup at all. Did you have a gank, quote unquote gank, coming in from invading, who really is just run around? Oh man, there we go. A lot of damage, and that's what happens when you miss your riposte.
Ruthless Predator is an extremely powerful if you do not get the riposte. So very nicely played. But hold on, invading lands a javelin toss, but Pink Tights can actually turn this around. Can he get the kill? He can. Very nicely played. Very nicely placed ultimate as well from Pink Tights, picking up that kill. Chaos.
Oh man, about to be a bad time to beat Fiora. Wave pushed in there, as much damage as possible. A nice.
Yeah, very nice knockup flash from onto Sephora. EWG picking up this kill. Takes a couple turret shots, but he doesn't mind. He's going to get out of there with a kill in his name. Pure Symphony, though, he's in a bad position.
Oh, no.
But he's going to knock him into a good position. So, Mattis, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
And that feels so bad as a top laner to get dove 2v1 under turret and take a look at the rest of the map and see your team not just doing absolutely nothing with it. So ideally, that would be an opportunity to go for a dragon right there because you've got 2 top lane. You don't have to worry about the jungler smite stealing it away from you. You've got numbers advantage, so just go for it. You also, at least FIU, didn't have to worry about Pink Tights ultimate at all. So that was great opportunity to go for the objective, didn't take it, and so you're starting to watch McGill just get a little by little further and further ahead.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a turn from their first game. They're not playing that poke comp, but they are playing a pretty solid team comp. Some of it scaling into the late game with that Victor and the Tristana able to shove those turrets pretty quickly if they can get to that.
Oh man, that's what happens.
Very nice steal.
When you smite early. No, it's actually not a steal. Invading did not get that. He smote first.
Oh, they had 19 health. I thought he did. Then the camera flash to the bot lane because there's some action. Taiwan Jesus, is he going to go down? Mattis taking up his turret. Credit.
Oh man.
And now there's a nice exhaust thrown down on a Fiora parries you, who did come down into the bot lane. Mattis picking up the kill onto Pure Symphony, but it's actually answered back. Fiora parries you.
Mattis can fight him.
He
had a whole creep wave there. Yeah, Mattis could have easily fought Renekton there. He had an entire creep wave. He had trample damage as well as a lot of crowd control. I think that's where you stay and fight, but discretion, the better part of valor. Taking a moral victory there, Mattis backing out.
EWG. Actually, I think EWG was trying to give that blue buff over to Pink Tights. Did not do it. think he had the red buff, so it was actually red buff down. And now EWG denied the pink tights his blue buff. So that might be pretty huge in that mid lane, but Pink Tight's going to come back with a Chalice of Harmony, so he has some form of mana regen in his arsenal. It's not going to be a huge thing. He could use that cooldown reduction, though. It's a Critic finding EWG in his own jungle there. Or actually in the river, not quite in his jungle. He's going to chase him into his jungle, possibly. Not going to go too far into that one. Sephora cannot win these trades in the top lane. Flash from both champions in the top lane. Can Fiora Parries get the slice and dice, or Ruthless Predator cannot. Sephora does dash away to safety, this time with his life intact. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, more action. Sorry, Rapid, you'll get to talk in just a moment. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. All right. I promise there's been just way too much action going on here to really deal with much. The Valkyrie forward is actually a lot shorter than it used to be. You gotta make sure you get those packages and bring them to lane with you. Teleport back up to the top lane here. Fiora parries you. He's got some help coming in. He's actually gonna go in for this dive. Walks up, kills the turret, and here comes EWG.
Oh, does not get the knock up. He doesn't have flash to get that either, but the stun from Ruthless Predator does follow through. Sephora trying to get out of there, trying to dash out, but the red buff is proccing, and Prey Seeker gonna find its prey. EWG picking up another kill in the top lane on the 0-3-0. Pure Symphony not quite hitting that death sentence. It's a little wide there. Secretic, he's gonna get taken down quite a bit.
Oh no!
Jesus going very aggressive as well. Invading, taking turret shots, needs to be careful, gets out. Taiwan Jesus, very low health. Mattis in his face. Can he pick up this kill? He does with the flash. I don't even think the flash is necessary. He did it anyways. Now Pure Symphony in trouble, knocking him back into his own turret. Mattis still tanking this up without his umbrella.
Wait, what?
And now
oh my
there's
gosh.
the dive. Invading is still going to go down with the turret shot, though. Mattis almost falling as well, but they finally get this turret. That was sloppy, but it is what it is. Turret is down in favor of Florida International University.
That was kind of questionable. I was so skeptical about whether or not Mattis would survive there, but he knew he had just enough health from that heal to put himself in a good spot. But now, oh no, Celestia! He's right there! No!
Not! He's gonna flash out, lands a light binding onto Fiora Parries. Actually half health him with
not
the
like,
combo.
not like this. Always better to just walk back to turret if you don't have side wards. That could have been way worse, and somewhat carelessly forced to blow his flash, and now that means that McGill is actually going to be able to push up all the way up the mid lane. Put some pressure, put some damage down onto this mid lane turret, maybe even take it out.
Oh no, looks like Mattis and Invading gonna keep them away from it. EWG almost goes down, takes a turret shot. He's gonna get out with just barely enough life. Fiora parries you, popping the dominance, making sure that he gets that big or AoE aura, making sure that nobody advances onto EWG. Tries to secure that kill. Nice slice there to dodge the javelin toss. It's very nice by Fiora parries you. But now, Florida International University 4 strong in the mid lane, looking to try to counter some of this aggression that McGill's applying. Or not. Maybe they're just going to back off.
Let's just say, yeah, it does not look like we've got anything too drastic happening for the time being. So let's try to take a little bit of a zoom out approach, look at the macro, see exactly how everything's working out here. Celestia should be okay there. Yeah, just some poke back and forth, nothing too crazy. So we've got a very one-sided top lane matchup with Renekton. We talked about it being Fiora Parries, who's best champion in solo queue and practice. That's what he goes to, and I mean it's just being shown here over and over again. Of course, the other side of that is that the bottom lane for FIU, Florida International, is doing incredibly well compared to McGill's bottom lane. So you've got a little bit of a lopsided map as far as where strengths lies for both teams, but now we have a little bit of time to talk about it thanks to the pause.
Looks like we do have a bot side lagging on the side of Florida International University, so we'll get that cleared up. Well, they'll get that cleared up. I'm not going to do anything about it, really. Just decide to sit here and analyze the game with Rapid. So look at this damage coming out from Fiora Parries you. He's going extreme damage. There's no tank on his side right now. Black Cleaver and Tiamat probably going into a Ravenous Hydra or Titanic Hydra, however Renekton's build these days. What do you think of that one? He has the advantage. He's shoving it. You think it should be going a little bit of tank at this point, though?
Yeah, I mean, tanky stats are always going to be better late game than they are early game. Early on, you're relatively safe because you're just fighting 1v1s, 2v2s. aside from, jungler intervention. So you can afford to build damage early on and get that lane advantage, but you do need to transition into tankiness, which is why we should see Fiora parry as you go for the not the Ravenous Hydra, but the Titanic Hydra. Yeah, there we go. I was like, Tiamat Hydra? No, that's not it. So yeah, while we get everybody back into the game, just want to give a quick shout out to everybody else out there watching. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to find out more information about the CSL, it's cstarleague.com. So of course, make sure to go check them out. You can see social media links on the screen. Make sure to tweet it out, let your friends know that you're watching, and maybe they'll come watch too. And you can be like, hey, this is esports and the collegiate level, and it's a good way to get people interested and involved. I'm a little bit under the weather, in case you guys couldn't tell, so that's why Fekez is putting his carry pants on and making sure to... Could not do it without Fekez, of course. Couldn't do it without everybody else watching, too. So it's all one part of the same big effort.
Yeah, of course, can't do it without our sponsors, Brain Gear, Republic of Gaming, Asus, and Twitch.tv. You're all fantastic for funding this season of CSL, helping create the prize pool as well, and giving us the road to DreamHack. Now, I do want to reiterate, this is a scrim, so these actually don't count for points going over to DreamHack, but it is good practice for both teams. DreamHack is, I believe, the first weekend of May, and we will be having the top 4 collegiate teams in CSL battle on a stage in front of a live audience. It's going to be exciting. Go check it out. Go buy your tickets. Go get a hotel in Austin. That's where it's at, Austin, Texas this year. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait for that to happen, but we have to get through there. We have to get there first. It's still January. Have a lot to go. And Florida International University, they're having a little bit of trouble in this second game. Actually, McGill is taking the lead so far. Not a huge lead, but they do have 2 turrets to 1 right now and the kill advantage. Dragon has not been contested yet. It's about 15 minutes. No team has even tried to contest Dragon, but there's been a lot of focus in this top lane. Sephora, they did not give them any chance to snowball like they did last game, and it's really, really affected Florida International University's map pressure and map presence.
Yeah. To counter that statement, FIU, they have a much stronger duo lane, but they've been trying to make all these big plays underneath the turret, but it always winds up kind of backfiring a little bit. Last time you had invading die off of a dive. Before that, as you saw, I think it was Secretic actually wind up dying in the trade too, and kind of leaving Mattis there by himself. But at the same time, you still got a relatively even game. We're only 15 minutes in, just thereabout. And the gold count is actually almost identical between both sides. So that's pretty interesting as far as, seeing things be so different in game, but they're different in an equal amount of ways. So it's like that scene from the interview. It's like different. No, it's like same, but different, but still same. See?
I love the interview. Just want to throw that one out there. So,
I always like to tie my analysis to easily accessible memes. So even if you don't care anything about the game, you can still be like, oh yeah, I totally get that. And I don't have to think too hard about it because it's,
I always feel like I'm an old man in esports, which I'm 28 years old.
You are an old man.
I kind of am an old man. I'm like 10 years older than the LCS players at this point. I don't really know that many memes. I'm actually quite ignorant to most of them these days. I see them thrown around on Twitter, but I don't know. It took me a long time to know what Bible thump meant. I had no idea what that meant until maybe 3 or 4 months into that whole thing. I still don't even really understand it. I think it means sad and sad life.
Pretty much.
I think I kind of got that gist. We do have a reconnect though. Might be seeing the game get back into the Rift, I should say, pretty soon here. Let's take a look at this mid lane, because you said it earlier, we haven't really focused on the mid lane, but it's actually kind of pretty relevant right now. Celestia is about 30 CS above Pink Tights right now, and it's almost translating into a full item. No, not quite. Actually, it's only about translating into about 200 gold, because Pink Tights does have that kill on his side. So it's not a huge amount of advantage over to Celestia, but he is slowly out farming Pink Tights, out leveling Pink Tights, and that might end up tipping the favor over on the side of Florida National University.
Well, just in time, here we go, 3, 2, 1, and we're back into the game. So thanks for sticking with us. Let's go ahead and get things back underway. Looks like a push in the mid lane, a lot of pressure, a lot of grouping up, and a 3-man Rift Scuttler attempt here by McGill University.
3-man, yeah, and they, there you go. The Rift Herald also being taken as well, so why not? It's only 15 minutes into the game. It seems like a little bit longer. Finally got the game going underway, but yeah, it looks like McGill University, they do have that Rift Scuttler. Or,
yeah, I think I said Rift Scuttler. To be fair, they did 3-man the Rift Scuttler.
Yeah, that's what I thought they did, too. I thought they were just happening at the time. But
Whoa.
Flash forced out.
Oh, and he gets it!
He gets it with the Price Seeker!
The fadeaway!
Nice
Nice. EWG. I don't know what that stands for. Maybe that's his initials. I used to cast a lot of Chinese League of Legends, and a lot of times you'll have players in there with 3-letter names, and it turns out that it's their initials most of the time. So I'm glad that trend is transferred over. Maybe it stands for something else. We'll find out after the game. Hopefully, the other cool thing to see besides fadeaway rifts or blue buff steals is going to be how both of these teams deal with this siege situation. Whoa, Valkyrie over! That's how they deal with it.
Yeah, it's a credit. He has a Triforce. He has quite a bit of power behind him right now. He's hit that item spike, but a nice distance onto Secretic. Mattis is there to knock away any sort of aggressors, though. So
oh my gosh.
He's not going to be able to secure that kill.
And just like Invading had his blue buff stolen away, now it's his turn to look for a blue buff steal of his own. And it looks like that blue buff will be stolen and taken there for Florida International as they rotate down to the bottom lane to take out a second tier turret. Same situation in the mid lane. As McGill University looks to take it out a turret of their own. But trading outer for inner, a little bit more value there, but this actually could be kind of a semi-base race. We've got both teams taking out one turret and then kind of looking at the second one, but shouldn't overcommit to make either one of these turret kills happen.
He landed, put that ward in there just at the last moment, did not stop the backs from happening on the side of Florida International University. I just saw in the chat, EWG means Epic Win Guy. It is his name from StarCraft when he had a StarCraft career going.
Nice.
Yeah. So we got some StarCrafters up in here, which the CSL does have a StarCraft league. Go check them out. You can also go to cstarleague.com. Check out the schedule for our CSGO, StarCraft, and Hearthstone leagues as well. So kind of a little bit of everything for collegiate teams. It's all fun and games, and trying to make those fun and games into a little bit of profit of scholarships.
As I say, it is literally fun and games, so
yes, it is.
Definitely check it out. And that's what these teams are having right now. It's not really what Sephora is having right now. He's 0-3 in lane versus a very aggressive Renekton. But, as Renekton is already taken down 2 turrets in that lane, so he's going to have to find his fun elsewhere. Whereas now Sephora might get a little bit of time to sort of chill out in the top lane, get some CS, maybe try to get back into the game.
Yeah, that's exactly what he needs to be doing. He's kind of a mishmash of items right now. Just trying to build into that Titanic Hydra, but not quite getting there yet. Almost there. Hold on, wait a second. Fewer parries you. Trying to get into onto Evading, but Evading just hops away. Ruthless Spreader is procced. So it looks like they are pinging for the bot lane. Secretic, sensing danger is near, going to be backing up out of that outer turret, I should say. 5 men strong in the bot lane for McGill University. Teleport is up for Sephora. Still not quite where he wants to be as far as power goes, but he could teleport and try to make a difference if he needs to here. But don't think the turret's going to last long enough for that. Nice knockup by Mattis. There's the engaging. There's the exhaust going down onto Invading. A complete disengage with a slice and dice from Pure parries you. He gets chunked down pretty hard. Nice javelin toss.
Wow.
Javelin tosses are going to make all the difference here. Going to drive McGill back completely. 1 to 2 javelin tosses, all it takes. Meanwhile, Sephora is pushing up in that top lane. So Florida National University may be able to get a turret out of this. EWG is in the bot lane now as well. 3 strong in the bot lane for Florida National University trying to defend this turret. And it's not going to be able to take on all 5 of them.
No way to defend that turret. It's going down. And wisely enough, McGill University decides to back away, not overstaying their welcome. Make sure, oh wow, okay.
Right.
Mattis getting denied. He headbutted him so hard he went all the way back to base.
Yeah, I see that. Celestia trying to push in this mid turret, and yeah, like you were talking about, 1 turret for 2, definitely that will be a big win for Florida International University if they can get that mid lane turret, but they cannot. They actually trade the top lane turret for the bot lane turret. So Sephora getting himself that Titanic Hydra finally. Still holding on to the to Jerem's fist. See what he builds that into later. Also only has level 1 boots, so he's still pretty far behind. Comparatively, he's about 1,500 gold down from Fiora Parry's use, so quite a big difference, and he's just trying to farm and farm and farm back into this game, and once he does, it's kind of like a ticking time bomb. It's going to be a huge difference maker once they can get 5v5s on the side of Florida International University.
So for Florida, their situation is actually pretty dire as far as the tankiness, the engage. That's going super well for McGill. On the other side, though, this Corki scaling up could become a nightmare if he keeps going too long. Same situation for Tristana, but she's actually much farther behind, even on CS, but down 0-2, and really only has 1 completed item, whereas Corki's kind of got 1 item and then 2 half items. It's like feeling a little bit better about that. Plus Trinity Force, much bigger power spike than just getting that. Okay, a lot of damage. There goes Pink Tight.
Forces a flash at him. Not going to be able to get the kill. A little bit hesitant on that one. I think Mattis probably could have secured that kill, but he wanted to give it over to Celestia, and actually ended up giving it away completely as Pink Tight's able to get out with a flash. So, to be fair, that is a flash down. That is going to be a little bit more cautious play coming out from Pink Tights, unless he wants to get caught with another light binding. So he needs to be careful now he doesn't have a flash. His exhaust is also down. 4 grouped in the mid lane for Florida International University. Going to try to finish off this mid lane turret. See if they can do it. Poke away with these javelin tosses. But there's an engage from Fiora Parry's youth. Slices and dices in. EWG there as well. Nice hook, but it's on to Mattis. Unbreakable Will is just going to stop that one. They are not getting the damage onto Florida International University's carries. And now it looks like Sephora is actually making his way to the to the mid lane as well. He's full health. He's a little bit down in this game, but he can still make a huge difference against these low health targets like Fiora Parry's youth.
Yeah, Sephora came down and then walked right back up. He's going to start that split push. But yeah, bad engage by Fiora Parry's. He stunned the tank, who has an unstun as his ultimate. So the guy that you just stunned and told your team to damage, oh wait, he's got 70% damage reduction. So probably not that great an idea. And a great kiting backwards by Socratic, had a great Valkyrie there too, and he's still going forward, putting out the damage. Just really, really well played there. His high score this game is being illustrated very, very well. What was I going to say? He's ahead, and he's doing a lot with it. There you go.
There you go. So, Florida International University, they're playing this one very slow, but they're creeping their way into a further lead. 36.2k to 34.7k, when it was just a few hundred down before. I guess technically it's still a few hundred down, but it was less before the turret going down in the mid lane. Now, Sephora coming back with a phage. Still doesn't have the upgraded boots. He can just take advantage of his dash during these team fights. Try to lunge in and out whenever he can. Not going to rely on the boots, but decides to get a little bit more stats into his favor as far as power and health goes. Meanwhile, Fiora Parry's you. Just pushing the top lane a little bit. Actually, just going to go back. Has only 850 gold in his back pocket, so we'll see what he buys. Actually finished the Merc Treads. It's only 22 minutes into the game right now. First Dragon was finally taken by McGill University. And now the Baron is up. Looks like they're not going to go for Baron this early, but they are going to ward around it. The risk color being taken by Florida International. They're going to establish some vision in that area of the river. Hold on, they have vision on EWG. They actually might be able to take him down. Shut down.
Oh my
nice.
goodness.
Do not want to back that close to the enemy, even if you don't know if there's a ward. Assume that there is. Oh, that's actually going to be a Baron. They're going to go and just going to prompt a Baron. They're going to go and start this one.
I mean, when you catch out the enemy jungler, you even saw the package being used there by Socratic to get a lot of damage done there. Uses his Super Valkyrie over, and the Baron dropping down dangerously low. No smite here for the steal. Who's it going to go to? And that's Florida International taking it home.
Headbutt onto Pink Tights into the Baron pit. Invading picking that one up with the Javelin Toss and Pure Symphony. Now he's in trouble. Double kill for Invading. He's 420 now. Some people want that. I don't know. It's still a good record to have no matter what. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Fiora Parry's you. He's split pushing this entire time. Is he going to be able to get this turret? He is. He might give his life over for it, though. There's the Luminescent Singularity going out. Light Binding misses. He Pops the Dominus. Didn't need to just yet. Gets it just in case. Taiwan Jesus. He's actually going to go down. Secretic flanking from the side, picking that one up with this Triforce proc. Very nicely played, but Fiora parries you. He's going to slice and dice. Nice drawback into the slice and dice, but there's a flash from Sephorai, and Sephorai finally gets on the board. First kill of the game, and it's a shutdown for his team. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Florida International, they're shoving into this inhibitor mid lane turret.
That's what I like to call scaling, because Fiora, as she gets stronger and stronger, starts to do a little bit more than Renekton. Did wind up going down, and of course it's also called 2v1. Celestia was right there behind him, so nice to see some teamwork, and still very well played there by Sephorai, making it pay off.
And showing that if you give enough time, you can get back into a game no matter what. So in solo queue, you solo queuers never give up, never surrender. Nice.
Oh my gosh, that death sentence.
That was blind, I believe. That was very nice, but I don't see a word over on that side. But it doesn't really matter. They're going to still be driven back. Florida International. There's a Chaos Storm being dropped on Sephorai, but a big headbutt pulverize coming out from Mattis. There's EWG getting final sparked, but not to death. Fiora parries you, is able to pick up Sephorai in the backlines, but Florida International University, they are still shoving back McGill, and they are going to be able to get a double kill over Secretic. This is a 3-for-1 right now, and the inhibitor is exposed, and it is theirs.
Man, this is actually pretty ridiculous. I don't really know too much about what to say about the engage. It was Sephorai walking too far forward, getting caught out, and the rest of Florida International just really capitalizing on that. A little bit too much blown to kill off Sephorai, and then with Dark Bindings, Javelins, Rockets, everything landing, FSU, they poked him down and were able to come out on top with an inhibitor kill, a few champion kills as well.
Now it looks like they are going to take the second dragon of the game for their... actually, no, it's the second dragon, their first dragon. So they're going to secure that one. The mid lane inhibitor turret only has about a 200 health. It is slowly regenning. Last time I checked, it was at 170. Probably going to be up to 200 pretty soon, but that's definitely going to be a huge bullseye for Florida International University. As they are surprisingly not grouping. Their Baron has run out. They don't have that to their advantage, but they do have quite the team fight potential on their side, as they have shown that. They have the power spike. They are 7k up now, actually a little over. Surprisingly, McGill's they're keeping it almost even in turrets. But when you have an inhibitor down, that's almost doesn't matter.
Yeah, having an inhibitor down, especially bottom inhibitor, that's I've heard a lot of commentators and analysts call that the Baron inhibitor.
Oh yeah.
Because it's so far away from Baron Nashor that you have to stay down there to stop the minions from pushing in, so it puts you very far away from Baron.
That might be what they're waiting for, as the wave is slowly pushing over in their favor.
Oh, flanking teleport coming in.
Fiora parries you. Can he make this work? He goes in onto Invadings. Invadings, he gonna get down? He actually flashes out. Pink Tights goes for the chase. Mattis, he is absorbing everything here. He's just trying to tank up all the damage, but Invadings in the backlines finally goes down, and there's Mattis going down as well. He did sacrifice himself, so Critic and Celestia could get away. And once again, Sephorai, he actually had teleport this time around, opted not to use it. Secretic, can he dodge the hook? He does! Just barely.
So dangerous.
Yeah.
So
Sephorai.
dangerous. Yeah, and Sephorai is off to the side. He's trying to, like, maraud.
Oh
my god!
On the backlines, Taiwan Jesus not able to predict that one, dodge enough, so very nice pickup by Celestia.
I mean, don't worry, he'll be back in 3 days. Top lane, the teleport, Sephorai, all the way back up there. Gonna start putting some pressure and maybe just attempting to get McGill to back off a little bit off the mid lane. He's actually going to get this turret, so...
He's going to get that top inner turret. He's going to advance on. I don't know if he wants to do that one. He does have a... Oh, he decides not to slice and dice from that to that minion onto Sephorai, so... Very surprising on that one. Maybe he doesn't feel confident that he can out-trade Sephorai anymore. He's actually caught up in farm. KDA not really in his favor, but the gold is actually pretty even. It's only 300 difference in favor of Fiora parries you, and that's not really that much this late in the game. It's not even an item build, so might be afraid that Sephorai could actually duel him now 1v1.
Red buff, who's going to get it? Looks like Celestia will be able to take that one away. I was kind of afraid EWG was going to get in there, but Epic Win Guy has had had a pretty good game compared to the rest of his team. If you look at the top half of the scoreboard for McGill, it looks great. You got 4-2-2, 2-1-2, 1-1-3, even not so bad. And then you look at the bottom lane. Between those two, it's a 2-10 scoreline. So the AD carry and support just really not working out here for McGill. Of course, on the other side, the exact opposite story. Florida International, they're just going off there. 5-1-4, combined 7-2. Much, much better scoreline there for Florida. Corky got the package. We'll see how good it is. Bottom lane going in onto EWG. Of course, in case you guys are wondering, what's the package? It's right there. Oh my gosh!
Big Final Spark and Javelin.
Oh, there's the Valkyrie. Valkyrie in. Valkyrie out. Secretic going back in. Sephora will get one kill. Looking for another one. Fiora parries you. Back to base. Sephora needs to turn back around. Although with a lot of poke damage coming out, it's Secretic. Another kill.
This is going to be game 4. Florida International University playing that slow game very well. They're going to get another kill just for good credit, possibly here. Nice light binding from Celestia. Been very solid this entire game. Undefeated. No deaths for Celestia this game. Very nicely played. Did not get the snowball that they had last game. Played the slow game a little bit better this game. Well, it didn't have to play the slow game last game, but played the slow game until they could get to the power spikes they needed, and then just capitalized. Very nicely played by Florida International University.
Congratulations, FIU, for their Division 1 status, their victory tonight, 2-0, very dominant performance. Maybe a little bit shaky in some respects, but still, you got to hand it to them. Very, very good, even adapting of their opponent's comp. They faced the poke comp game 1, they played it game 2, able to adapt and overcome. That's what it's all about there. Florida International, an 18-9 victory here in game number 2. And unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depending on how you feel, that's going to do it for all of our CSL programming here tonight. So I hope you guys have enjoyed your time here this evening. Make sure to check out our sponsors at Brain Gear, Twitch, and Republic of Gamers. Asus ROG definitely helping us out there on our hashtag Road to DreamHack. So definitely check us out there. If you guys are planning on going to DreamHack Austin, come say hi. We'd love to see you there. And we'd also love to hear what you guys have to say about tonight's games. So make sure to head on over to Twitter and let us know at CStarLeague and at Rapid Casting, at Fequez, F-E-Q-U-E-S.
P-H-E-Q-E-S.
P-H-E-Q-U-E-S.
Let me just get that exclamation casters in that chat. There you go.
Hey, there you go. Definitely check us out. Let us know what you had to say about tonight's games. Once again, congratulations to Florida International University for their 2-0 victory. That's all for us tonight. So on behalf of myself, Fequez, and all of us here at the Collegiate Star League, we want to thank everyone out there for watching. Hope you have a great evening. We'll see you next time on Friday.